Authorities in Belarus have detained senior members of the country's opposition council and accused them of posing a threat to national security. Maria Kolesnikova has been a figurehead of the movement against President Alexander Lukashenko since protests began after last month's disputed elections. She was apprehended by government authorities on Monday. Her whereabouts are still unknown, as are those of other key members of her team who were seized on Wednesday. Alex Morgan has been following the story for us from the Cube.
Snatched from the streets, forcibly detained, expelled from the country. What you're seeing here is a coordinated attempt to undermine this, the Coordination Council, the main group of opposition in Belarus. Let's take you through what we know about the whereabouts of these people who've been leading the charge, calling for this peaceful transition of power. Maria Kolesnikova disappeared on Monday, masked men reportedly grabbing her, putting her in a minibus. Well, she reappeared on the border where reportedly she tore up her passport to reject being expelled into Ukraine. Her lawyer, who we spoke to on Tuesday, he was concerned then about her welfare. Well, he now too has been detained. We don't know his whereabouts. Both of them are being charged on national security grounds by Belarus's authorities. Now, in the past, we'd spoke to Maria and we'd asked her about concerns for her safety. This is what she told us a couple of weeks ago in August.
I know that it's very difficult to understand, but 9 million of Belarusians still not feel them safety. But when I'm going on the street with Belarusians, with such a great people on the street, I feel me very safe. I know it's a difficult time for us, but I'm strong and I will go on.
Maria Kolesnikova there. We still don't know where she is. Well, then you've got people like Maxim Zadak here, one of the last members who was at liberty, detained on Wednesday, again, this time by plain-clothed masked men in that report. Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, we know she was the main challenger for the presidency during the election. She fled the country for fears of her own safety. She is now asking international support for what is going on in the country. But she sees these arrests, this attempted crackdown, as a sign of the regime's weakness. This is what she told Euronews.
The fact that they are kidnapping people is the sign that our methods are working, and they showed that they don't know what to do. They feel fear. So we are keeping on fighting, and we will win.
Now, we could go on and on through the council, but let's focus on Svetlana Alexievich here. She's a Nobel laureate. Effectively now, she is the last big name in this council to still be at liberty in Belarus. And we know on Wednesday there was an attempt to prevent her from moving around, an attempt to snatch her. It was foiled by international diplomats. Here she is in the middle of them. They went to her home to prevent her from being abducted. And this incident, perhaps you could say, one of now a series of incidents really rallying international support for the opposition council. Estonia's foreign minister saying these developments have to stop. They demand action from the international community, something echoed by Charles Michel. He's calling this political persecution now. He's the president of the European Council. So if we go back to that initial picture here, the picture of all these faces, what you are seeing is an attempt to undermine the organization of the opposition. But as you were hearing there from Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, what we heard from Svetlana Alexievich is that these arrests don't stop the protests and that they will continue even if the leaders are behind bars or out of the country.
Let's find out more. Our correspondent Galina Polanskaya has been following developments for us from Moscow. Galina, morning to you. Lukashenko, as we've just heard from Alex there, is clearly trying to round up opponents, put an end to his political crisis. But Alex also said the protest movement is still continuing and strong. Has Lukashenko left it too late? Because the opposition appear to be very well established now.
Well, exactly. And even if Lukashenko understands that he has left it too late, he makes it clear that he will fight until the very end. The crackdown continues, and some of those who went on the streets of Minsk after the recent arrests were also detained. But Svetlana Alexievich, the only one from the opposition council, says that this strategy is not working, that people are not afraid, and that the council will grow even bigger and become stronger, and that Lukashenko will not be able to pretend that those on the streets do not exist. I have spoken with some of those who went on the streets of Minsk, and they told me that they are just getting very, very angry, and that the point of no return is far behind. Their only worry is about Moscow. They are worried that Moscow could use this weakened position of Lukashenko in order to try to organize a soft annexation of Belarus, an economical annexation, as they say. You see, Lukashenko is expected here in Moscow in the coming days, and for him this visit could be the strongest or maybe the only joker, as he wants to show this support. And the Kremlin, from the very beginning of the crackdown, has been hesitating whether to support him or not, and even the state TVs did not show support to Lukashenko, but that has changed. We saw how friendly the Russian state TV journalists were asking those questions to Alexander Lukashenko. Apparently, President Putin decided to support him. The question, what will Moscow want in exchange? And this question is still to be answered, but Lukashenko is coming here to send a very clear message to the rest of the world that Mr. Putin is covering his back.
Galina, thank you very much, our correspondent there in